Aloha, everybody. Welcome to our live on YouTube and Facebook for our 15-ish minute coffee chat. This week, Selena of How Oli Socially Inspired and Anna of Nomad About host LIsa Mckeague of Lisa's Creative Designs. She's a queen of customer service. Refresh yourself on tips and tricks to retain customers and make their experience memorable through service with Aloha.
Hey, Selena.
How are you ready for today? Like, was last week? I mean, I'm like all over the place because it's a little later. So this is many cups of coffee.
This is many cups of coffee into the day. Yes, we are in our afternoon. It's only morning in Hawaii, so we're gonna have a little cup of coffee with our Hawaiian guest today, and I'm really excited about it. It's gonna be super fun.
Yes. No, absolutely. I enjoyed last week with Brittany and Leslie. Like, were they not like a younger version of us?
I know,
but we want to be them.
I'm going to let everybody in on the secret of what I wouldn't let you say last week, just in case people were like, you know. But last week she kept saying, we're like the grandmas of, and they're the younger version. I'm like, don't call us grandmas. We're not that old. I do not want to be known as the grandma of social media. That is not a compliment.
I was comparing us like we were like the grandma Brittany, grandma Leslie. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, I do know. I knew exactly what you were talking about. Yes, they are like the younger version of us. I love it because they work well together. They talk well together. And I like to think that we have that same camaraderie, I guess, as we do our 15-ish minute coffee chats.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
And you wrote something here too, like something about Leslie's final advice. Let's talk about that.
I wanted to just make note of like Leslie's final advice when she was talking about podcasting last week and how she said, you don't have to have an audience to start a podcast. It's like Field of Dreams, you know, Kevin Costner. Yeah. You're the Kevin Costner of this show, where if you build it, people will come and, you know, use those SEO keywords in your descriptions, use Anchor FM to get it up on. It's so easy. I'm just going to say it one more time. Our toolkit from last week, Anchor FM is the easiest podcast processing system you're ever going to find. And just get out there and start talking and people will find you and your audience will come. So that's all I'm saying.
Amen. Amen, Anna, to that.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And then, you know, caveating onto that, I'm so excited for our guest, LIsa, today, because she like epitomizes the word aloha for me. Like if Hawaii decided to have like a mascot, like put on a flag, I think it should be LIsa because she's amazing. She's like almost choking on her tea and backstage. She's like, girls, for reals.
That's a seriously huge compliment. I mean, coming from the Hawaiian girl, right? To say if Hawaii had a mascot on their flag, it should be LIsa.
Yes.
So that tells you, anybody who's listening, that tells you just how amazing this woman really is. So I'm super excited to let's introduce her and bring her in, you know, because the conversation always gets better when
let's do her bio. I know, let's do her bio.
Well,
do the bio.
Yeah, that's the introducing part.
Yeah.
So yes.
I'm so literal some days, I apologize.
So yes, LIsa is the owner of Lisa's Creative Designs, which creates beautiful boutique silicone shell and pearl jewelry. An entertainer by nature, LIsa danced and taught crafting for nearly 16 years on cruise ships in Hawaii and Japan. Her friends describe her as loyal, motivated, independent, and a bright spot of sunshine. She was born and raised in Hawaii and is a true island girl. For wisdom, strength, and to clear her mind, she takes long, brisk walks and uses ocean therapy. And in her free time, she enjoys sunny days, fishing, swimming, and cruising the open streets in Hawaii. So
let's time.
LIsa.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. Good. Thank you for being on the show today.
Yes, for having me.
Yeah, we did reach out to some of your besties and be like, could you just share a couple like insightful words about LIsa? And that's where that other bio came in. So you are loved in all over.
Thank you so much.
it kind of epitomizes what we're going to be talking about today, you know, which is that service with Aloha, customer service, all that kind of thing. Because what people think about Lisa is kind of the foundation of why she's on our show today. And I can't tell you how many complimentary things have been said about you over this past couple of weeks when we've reached out. Like, you are rock star. Like, you've reached rock star.
No,
it's
it's crazy fun life, but it's you know, it's a lot of great memories, and things that I'm doing now are something a little different, but I'm still continuing to follow what I did back in the day when I worked on cruise ships till today. So yeah, just trying to create and do different things and keep busy.
Lisa, you know what? That just says a lot about, like, I feel like cruise ship workers are some of the hardest workers around. And I mean this because anytime when I was back home in Hawaii and I hired somebody that had come off the cruise ship, that was the person that'd be like, oh, I'll work 11 days straight. No worries. I'm not going to fall apart. You know? I'll work triple shifts. That explains a ton. Oh my gosh.
Too far into the conversation. We got to start off with our coffee cup selfie, which is what we always start. So in honor of today, I brought my Hawaii Aloha cup.
Oh,
Lisa Miller.
I bought this cup. Lisa bought it all the way from Japan.
Yeah, that's the Japanese one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't have a.
No, you're good. You're like, I feel like it's okay.
But I love San Fran.
Yes, we're all over. Japan, Hawaii, San Francisco.
So
okay.
Funny.
Okay, we'll hold our cups up and we'll pose on 3. Oh, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yay! That was our selfie.
Thanks very much.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay.
So Lisa, we're going to start with our mental health question of the day. So we had Selena's cousin on, and she is a mental health therapist, and we asked her to be our mental health barista. And basically what we do is we just want to ask a question that kind of grounds our conversation for the day. And today our question for you is, what lesson from a mentor has been most impactful on your career or profession?
Well, you know, there's so many different. There is a mentor that I had been mentoring for quite a few years. I would say more than probably 30 years. And I worked with him for that long. Wow. And so we've kind of, grew together. I'm going to go back in the day when we were working on cruise ships. And so we kind of, moved up the ladder from where I started from as a cocktail waitress all the way up into the entertainment department. But it was so funny because we both wanted to get to that entertainment division. And so, he's a singer, he's a performer as well. So I always mentored him because he was so, everyone loved him. He had the Aloha, he was just so talented, in what he did. And he would work in the dining room as a head waiter and sing with everyone and all the passengers. And so, I used to watch him in the dining room when I also went in the dining room and admired what he did. And, so he kind of pushed me along because I was so shy when I first started the ship. I wasn't this outgoing and, boisterous person. I was very, very shy. So I always seen him, get together with the passengers and just getting them together and having them do different types of activities in the dining room as well, and just participate. So when it got up to the entertainment division, there's one point I have to tell you this. It was in Kona, and then our cruise director and our assistant cruise director was on shore. We're in Kona, so we were docked outside. So we had to take a tender to go into shore. But there's every hour on the hour from ship to shore, every hour and a half an hour from shore to ship. So we were still on board. this gentleman and I, his name is Robert, we were on board, and the cruise director and the assistant cruise director missed the tender.
Oh no.
So there was this show, and this is like he's a big time local entertainer with the Hawaiian group, and they have to perform, and they come on board just for the performance for an hour, not 45 minutes to an hour. So now it's like they're not on. He became a cruise host, I became a cruise hostess, so I'm kind of like, mentoring him and following him, and he's so used to being on the mic and from singing and everything, and then all of a sudden the hotel manager says, well, you guys are gonna have to put on the show.
Oh my god.
Like, wait, what? What? I said, no, please. And so he said, well, we have to. And he said, oh my gosh. He told me, you take off the show, I'll put on the show. And I said, I'll put on, you watch me, and then you take them off. I said, my easier said than done, right? I'm like, okay, all right. Okay, thank you, bye. I mean, I'm just kidding. But so we had to put on the show and take off the show. And we've never actually, had gone on to put on the shows because they were the ones to do it. The cruise director and the assistant cruise director always did it.
So what you're saying is always be ready to entertain.
Always be ready for whatever situation you're at.
Oh man.
Have a song or dance ready to go, right?
The person that I followed throughout my years, all the way to Japan.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that's been an impact, and he's been my greatest mentor throughout my year.
Yeah. I think that's really great that you've had a mentor for that long, and then it started, and that I love even the lesson that you just said, right? Like always be prepared to like step up and do it. Right. That's so smart, because no matter what situation you're in, if you're floundering, especially in a business world, right? Then you're looking unprofessional. But you were like, I gotta dance, I gotta song, I'm going.
I'm like, okay, now it's my turn. So I'm like, you can't just say, oh, thank you for coming, aloha. You can't say that. You have to do the whole spiel about their performance, and how long they've been on. And so just the ad lib of it, me listening to him when he put on the show, I was like, okay, I guess. But, you have to do what you have to do. I think it's important.
Yes, so true.
And that must have been like a defining moment, though, right?
Oh my God, like there are so many moments that we all gotten ourselves into. Whether or not we had to cover or put on a show because someone didn't show up, and then you have to do it. Whether it's pajama party or sock hop or masquerade party and all of this stuff. But yeah, it was the greatest experience, and his creativity also was wonderful. So
I love that.
I do too. I'm, you know what? I mean, we all have that one moment where you just realize, like, you have to step forward. And I mean, we all have that. I'm just going to share mine real fast, even though that's not part of this whole thing. But when I was just a wee little young restaurant manager, we had adopted a teacher in Hawaii, and we were able to like buy all of the things that she needed for the classroom. And so we had like organized it with the principal that we would surprise the teacher in the middle of an assembly from kindergarten to 5th grade, right? And so I went with my mentor, she was the higher up manager, and she was going to do the spiel. And so we pull all the things, and literally, like, she was so smart. Right before she was supposed to go on stage, she turned at me, handed me the microphone, and said, "You can do this." And she like walked by, and I was like, and because I always was like, I'm good being number 2. Like, I'm good being behind. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know how to do that. But I had to go up on this stage and talk to like about 450 children and teachers all along in the cafeteria.
Oh
But I'm also a crybaby, and I'm like happy that we're going to give this surprise to a teacher. So I have to try not to cry. But that was a defining moment to me where I'm like, okay, public speaking is okay, and it's not going to scare you. And I always think about that. Always think about that.
Get yourself in that situation. You're like, okay, like, and then, then you're not breathing.
Right.
For a second, you're like, you're not breathing. You're like, okay, breathe. So you can talk.
I was like this, holding the microphone with 2 hands and like went right up my mouth. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. Like, ridiculous.
I love it.
You know, with some little kids picking their nose and going, oh, at least, you know, whatever. And it was stressful. I'm like getting sweaty just thinking about it. But okay, that was my defining moment. I wanted to
just say, whenever you look at the audience, they always say, don't get nervous, because you have to think of the audience as that everyone is naked.
Right.
I'm like, what? Like, just think of everyone naked. I'm like,
I would giggle.
How do you do that? Like, and I'm like, I can't. And somebody had told me, I think it was like some like speech thing that someone came on and said, yeah, just if you get nervous, just tune out and think everyone is like naked. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even want to think of that. You know? Oh God, that'll throw me all off.
Yeah, I think that is ridiculous. Gosh, we're gonna have Lisa come on and talk to people about how you do get up on stage and like, you know what I mean, like combat that fear.
Oh my God, it's just the ad-libbing part is you know, you have to try to be on it, not have like a script, but ad-lib and think of what the things you have to say. Oh, I honestly write a book. It's crazy.
I love it. I think I grew up much like you did, though, Lisa. I mean, I was part of the Oregon version of the Von Trapp family singers. My mom had us singing and dancing at the nursing home, like at age.
Oh, wow.
So I grew up with zero fear of public speaking, being on film.
Wow.
Full of myself. Like I'd be the first one up there going, I don't know how to dance the hula, but I'm going to try it.
I love it. No, you have to be gung ho.
Yeah, totally. Not me. I'm like, no, thank you. Which will bring us kind of to a little fact, Lisa. And I was telling Ula this last night. Ula is my cousin, and one of Lisa's very best of friends. I think actually they're probably from the same, like, you know, my auntie is her mom too, like, you know what I mean? So Lisa got thrown under the bus by being on my show because we were trying to get Ula to come on. And Ula goes, you know, who'd make a great one is Lisa, like, you know, that art of distraction. And we were like, yeah. So Lisa, our goal is to try to get Ula on. You know what I mean?
You get her on. Yeah.
One for the team. She's watching this, and I can just imagine what she's saying.
Have to get her on. Yeah, to be on. So I bet you it was you.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway. So Ula, we are glad though that you actually pushed Lisa our way, because I think this is going to be a great show today. So
yeah, it is going to be a great show. We're gonna move on to actually introducing our topic. So today's topic is service with Aloha, making your business memorable.
Yes.
And we chose this because, and so Selena, the way she met Lisa, just gave her like that. It gave her that memorable experience from the start, you know. And it's carried through to, you know, it wasn't just Selena that had that memorable experience because of your amazing ability to provide service with Aloha, but members of her family and then friends and anybody that had interacted with you that she knew had this like great story to tell about their experience with you. And I just found that so impressive. So our toolkit today, which is going to be, I mean, it's kind of interesting because normally we have like a product or an application or a website that we use as our toolkit. But our toolkit today, excuse me, is just simply customer service versus serving Aloha. And so good customer service typically means like providing a timely, attentive, upbeat service to your customers, making sure their needs are met, making sure that it's in a manner that reflects positively on your company or your business. But what we're talking about today is not just good customer service, right? Selena, tell us the other half to this.
So, when Anna and I were talking about this, and she's like serving Aloha, and I was like, I don't know, am I saying it right? Like, we were verbalizing Aloha, like it's a mindset and a feeling. But I wanted to express, like, when you go to Hawaii and you meet people that are really immersed in our culture, there's this thing, it is called the Aloha spirit, and it may sound cheesy, but it's literally the ones that really, you just know it's so genuine. But right here, like the definition, like many people associate the word aloha with hello, goodbye, or love, but aloha is an essence of being, love, peace, compassion, and a mutual understanding of respect. Aloha means living in harmony with the people and land around you, with mercy, sympathy, grace, and kindness. And that's kind of like what like serving aloha is it embodies that definition. And with LIsa, it's, I guess maybe in an equivalent, it's just the ones that go above and beyond. To me, that is like what the Aloha, like we do that all the time, all day in Hawaii. The ones that really do embody this, they go above and beyond effortlessly, because it's just something that they like, that is who they are. So that's what, when I think of LIsa, that is why I think of LIsa, only for the reasons, because Anna mentioned it earlier. I met LIsa for the very first time, and I like literally wigged out when my cousin brought her, because I was like, oh my gosh, it's like the favorite person. But I met LIsa because I was going to the pharmacy to pick up my medicine, and I was having some issues, and the person that was helping me was nice, but she's like, sorry, this is where it stops. But LIsa stepped in before I knew she was LIsa. I just said, this very nice woman stepped in, and she went above and beyond so that I could leave like with what I needed to. And Hawaii, our town is a little small town, and so I was talking to an aunt a couple of days later, and Lisa's person came up again. Nobody knew her name, but they just knew her. She was the best woman there. And every time you would go, you would hope you would get her, because you would leave like smiling. And then my cousin happened to like be eating what she goes, oh, I know her too. I love when I got to go pick up da-da-da's, like, this or that. And I'm like, and I love going, that's like what you would like wish every client or guest, that comes like has that effect. So anyway, I can go on and on, but LIsa, that's what I think. You embody serving aloha. So Anna has a question for you. I know it.
Well, yeah. I mean, just kind of playing off what Selena said right now, what we kind of described, the difference between just good customer service and serving aloha. LIsa, what would you say is the biggest difference between those two? What's the defining thing that takes it from one level to the next?
Well, I think, like she was saying, the customer service on Aloha, you can tell when somebody is going to give you that extra special customer service. It's kind of a combination a little bit, because you do have to give the best customer service you can, or go over and beyond. You can't just stop at that. To want to help someone and want to, you give them the best quality service that you can. That's the epitome of exactly like aloha, and just having to be just, have a nice conversation and helping them. So, I'm going to go back to something else. So this epitome of aloha is more like when we're driving in Hawaii, there's so much traffic, but then, people want to, go across and you let them go. So whenever you see someone and you want to let them go, you tell them, okay, you can go ahead. So, everyone does that here. We let them go across, or we let them go by, and then we give them the shaka sign.
Right.
So that's like also customer service, because I say an aloha, because you have to have that, and you have to instill that in everyone which will make it a better place, and it'll make it a happier place if you just give that aloha and let them go. You don't have to be in such a rush, as well as helping them at the counter and doing the same thing. So I think it's just a combination of everything, of just having to show your personality, and you're willing to help, in anything that you do. Anything.
Yeah. I think, this is really funny because I'm just going to actually just literally flow into our first question for you, because what I just heard you say is, instead of thinking about what that customer can do for your business or for you, you're thinking about what you can do for the customer to make their experience the best possible, without any thought of what they're going to give back to you. And that was like our first question is, what does it mean when you say to someone, hey, the customer comes first, right? Because customers can sometimes be a huge pain in the batuski.
Yes.
Like, they're not always nice people.
Right.
They're not always friendly, and sometimes they're very demanding, and they're very picky or particular.
Right.
And they can even be unkind. So when we say the words, hey, what does the customer, when we say customer comes first, what does that mean? And that's what I heard you just explain. But I'm going to let you talk a little bit more about it if you have something else to say. Even though you kind of answered the question.
Right. No, but then it just goes into play with what we're trying to talk about today. Is you talk about it without even being prompted. Like, you know what I mean? I love it. I'm all like, let me listen more to Lisa and her
No.
aloha wisdom. But
it's so funny because it's just like my, jury. It's they may not want this particular size, and they'd rather have it smaller or a little bigger or a little darker or a little this. So, I mean, you want to try to please them. You don't want to say like, I don't have it. Somewhere or another, I try to find it or try to see if I can create it. As much as I can, I want to try to get it out where I can please for whatever they're asking or whatever they want. And like you said, you can't please everyone.
Yeah.
And they're always going to have some kind of they're going to have their personality comes out and all of this. And, they get like, well, I think you should have done it this way or this way. Okay. That's understandable. I understand. I mean, it's, you can, and it's good to get to be critiqued.
Yeah.
That's what a smart thing to say. And that's really interesting, because you don't hear business owners say that very often. You don't hear an entrepreneur or business owner say, it's really good when my customers critique me and tell me what I can do better.
You have to.
Because most of the time we consider ourselves the expert. So I really love that what you just said is you have to be open to hearing the criticism or critiquing from your customer base. That was a really like aha moment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you're not critiqued, whether you're on stage or not on stage, or whether you do crafts, or whether you do a dance, or whether you do a line dance, and you should be doing it like this, it's good to learn and it's good to change. So if it's not done this one way that is not suitable for the group, then I'd have to move it to something else, or change another dance, or change another choreography or something. Just the same as my jewelry. It's the same way, trying to create something that's simple that you can also, make in a reversible style. So that's what my, my vision is just to be critiqued and then taking that criticism. And that's the only way for any one of us to learn.
So true.
Yeah.
No, that is, I'm like, at a loss for words, because I'm like, it's very insightful.
It is.
Because you have to take it in, and as much as it may hurt, but that's the only way you're going to grow.
Yeah.
With your business.
You can't say that, hey, I feel confident. I'm doing this right. I'm doing this. You can't have so-called that a little cockiness. We all have a little bit of that, of course, or ego, or that. You have to drop it to a level
Yeah.
where you have to learn that nothing is perfect in life.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, we talked with one of our guests about just the reviews process, right? When customers leave a review,
Right.
and it said something like 95% of consumers read reviews
Right.
before they purchase a product, and more. I think like 90% of them are influenced by those reviews.
Yeah.
So I think it's really what you're saying right now is really important, because if somebody says something and leaves critique instead of responding in a way that's like, hey, you don't know what you're talking about, this is the way we do it, but responding with some open, like, I'm accepting your feedback. Thank you for letting me know this. Here's how I'm going to improve my processes. I'm imagining that as you're reading through reviews, that's the kind of thing that's going to have somebody go, oh, I like the way this business handled this situation.
Yeah.
You know, and could make all that difference in you getting that sale or not getting that sale,
Right.
having a customer for life or not having a customer for life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great.
No, that is. I'm all like, I forget that I'm like talking. I'm just listening. I'm like, I just want to listen today. No, just kidding. Well, hey, let's jump into the second question for Lisa.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. What would you say, Lisa, is an advantage of a small business over a large business when it comes to customer service?
Ooh, what is the advantage of a small business when it comes to customer service? You know, so you have a big business, which is probably the same as a small.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter the size of the business and the volume. You can just as much have the same amount of supplies or equipment or whatever you need in that particular small business, because it's basically your customer service that'll bring people back. It could have a big store like Walmart. It can have a big store like Kmart, or I'm not Kmart, I'm like Target, or but you can also have a small business that people just love to go to because of their customer service.
Yeah.
They give the best service. And they're friendlier. They'll help you. They'll take you to the shelves. They'll do this. They'll do that. So I say the advantage is because it doesn't have to be a big business to succeed. In volume, of course, you have corporate offices, and you have also small businesses, but you can do just as well.
You basically just told us that large businesses can provide just as good a customer service as small businesses, which
exactly, both ways.
Interesting, because you wouldn't necessarily think that. In a small business, it's like a customer walks in and they're repeat, and you're like, "Hey, Sally, I know you. I know what you like." Whereas when I walk into Walmart, I'm telling you right now, they don't have any idea if they've seen me before. But you are right in terms of having that corporate culture of providing good service.
Mm-hmm.
I think in my head, I'd like to think that as a small business person or as an entrepreneur just starting out, you have an opportunity to go even more, further and farther, which is what that serving Aloha really embodies, right? The way I understand it. Where with a larger business, I think it would be almost a little bit more difficult, because you have to ingrain that feeling of Aloha into every employee you have.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And
it's just the hustle and bustle of a big business, and going there, not really taking the time to really stop, and instead of shelving, like to stop and help a person that's really looking for something, just taking the time or acknowledging their name. Hi, Mrs. So-and-so. Hi, so-and-so. In Hawaii, we say, hi, auntie. Hi, uncle.
Yeah.
Hi, cousin. That is not even our relatives.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not our
Yes.
relative. We just call them aunties and uncles, and oh, hi, Papa. That's not even our relative, but we're so used to paying respect, to the culture of having the Aloha to acknowledge them whether it's by their name or auntie or uncle or, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's what, or in the world, it doesn't have to be that way, but I'm just saying to acknowledge people if you do see them and you remember them.
Yeah.
To say, hey, I remember you. You always come, you know.
Yeah.
But everything is about hustle and bustle and having to do this. You have to stock this and that. And they get so, and it's because they have to have, I guess, a quota or a particular shelf time to do things. So,
yeah. You know, I want to jump in real fast because you've just really made me think about this question, Lisa and Anna. So I've worked for corporate, I mean, as Anna has, but I mean, mine is hospitality. And so, you know, you dealt with a lot of, like, in the restaurant business, a lot of the guests, a lot of, you know, people. And I know over time I've had guests come back to me. Some were even friends on Facebook now, but they say, oh, you were the reason why we would come to such restaurant. And it is a corporate restaurant, but you make it for us. So when we have to decide, and I think any large business that has an employee that wants to serve Aloha, take advantage of that in the sense of make sure you recognize that, because that is a person that is making a decision for somebody that's like, oh, do I go to A restaurant or do I go to B? And then you're like, I'm going to A because Selena is working there.
Exactly.
Right. So
it's so true because, you know, corporate, they need to also know that too. I mean, a lot of the times the people do come back is because of the work, or they've seen somebody there that they really like, and hopefully they're still there.
Right.
And they look for it.
Yes.
And they're so bummed when they're not.
Yes. Like, oh, Selena. And so, you know, take that, and hopefully if you're recognized for that, and say you know, now you leave that corporate job. So Lisa and I, we want to do our own business. So now we're going to take our Aloha spirit that we have and incorporate it into our own businesses and run our own business. And so we take it from, because we know we can do it here, so we obviously can do it on our own as well. So that's how I'm looking at it. Sorry, I was like, ooh, there could be something said of that. I don't know. I gotta.
No, it's very circular, isn't it? I mean, if no matter what size business you have, if you have employees, you absolutely should be looking at who is it that is embodying this customer service spirit that makes my customers want to return, and making sure to recognize that in them. So it's not just, so yes, it is about the customer, right? But as a business owner, then recognizing that in your employees and maintaining that, I'm going to say a reward almost for being the person that does that, you know, and that's it. I think it would encourage it among your employee ranks for everyone to want to continue to be like that.
Exactly.
Make them all jealous because your face is on the wall each month. You know what I mean? In the break room, right, Lisa? Lisa's gonna be like, cheese.
I'm just going to do it for them, but
oh my gosh.
So okay, let's ask question number 3. All right.
Yeah.
Can we ask this question, Selena? You want?
Oh yeah. Let me do it. Okay. So as we all know, Aloha is in our blood, right, Lisa? So okay, if you could advise a business owner on how to deal with a customer that has an issue, how do you feel like we would react and apologize or provide Aloha without sounding fake? You know, sometimes people are like, oh, you're too nice. And you're like, no, this is who I am. So I've come to you. I don't like something. How do you feel like people in our culture, or who we are, how we operate as business owners, how would you react? How would you, when it's not our fault, how do we deal with this unhappy customer?
Well, you know, the best thing is for them to walk, you know, the customer has to walk away not feeling that the unhappiness. So knowing that we can't, you know, you can't make everyone happy. I think it's how you address it to them that makes them think that they respect, you know what you're saying to them, and how you're apologizing and how you're being so humble about it, and you know, understanding and being in their situation, or trying to give a situation where you don't want them to continue to feel like that. So, and I think being apologetic to someone that's just so like,
Right.
that they're so angry, but you have to calm the situation down. You have to calm the
Mhm.
situation down and let them know that, I'm sorry that whether or not I wasn't able to please you by what you're wanting, or, I don't want you to ever leave. Not, I don't ever want you to leave feeling unhappy. I want you to know that whatever I can do to make you happy the next time, or moving forward,
Yeah.
then I think, I want you to know that it's not going to end here.
Mm.
I'll still continue to help you if at any time that you need it, but I want you to know this, and I don't want you to leave unhappy. It
Yeah.
doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make you feel good as well. And I'd like to continue to help you as much as I can. You just have to like give yourself to that person, but they have to
Yeah.
feel you. And if they don't feel you, you're not genuine, and you're not,
Mhm.
it's how you address it to them.
Yeah.
You can't just say, well, yeah, I'm sorry you're unhappy. Okay, well, we'll see,
Right.
maybe next time. Well, you can't do that. You have to take the time with them to calm
Yeah.
them down, at least calm the situation down, because they won't, their anger is, they're so unhappy that
Yeah.
you just have to, like I said, calm the situation, knowing that this at this time, you're unhappy with the service, and I don't want you to ever uh, you know ever want you to feel that you can't come back, or that
Yeah.
we're not going to help you. So I had situations like that. Just going back to the pharmacy, there's many
Yeah.
situations like,
Right.
oh no, I'll never come back in this pharmacy. You didn't do that. So you didn't do that. And so I'm so sorry. And I
That
said,
Yeah.
was Selena,
I
right?
really
Selena
wanted to
was
help
doing it.
you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really wanted to help you. I really did, and I said, I'm so, so sorry. Then
Mhm.
they calm down a little bit, then they
Yeah.
walk away, right? But then
Mhm.
a week later, they're back.
Right.
And I said, well, I'm so glad you came back. I said,
Right.
I hope that this experience that we've had with you before, um, we can get rid of that experience that we've had, and we'll just move forward and see what we can do for you.
So, you know what I loved about your answer, Lisa, is that you took it from apologizing in the moment to here's how I'm improving for the next time they return. There was an
Yeah.
expectation when you were talking, there's this expectation you have that you're going to make them feel comfortable about coming back and trying again.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's very unique and something that you
Mhm.
have to, in the business world, you have to practice that. So you didn't just say, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry we couldn't make you happy this time. Gosh, maybe next time. If there was this expectation of the next time you come, we're going to have this improved because this is what I'm
Right.
going to do to make
Mhm.
this work
Make
better for
keep
you.
you here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that is the difference between good customer service, which is being able to apologize to a customer for having a poor experience, and serving Aloha, which is now the customer wants to come back and have
Yeah.
another try with you, as
Yes.
opposed to just being like, well, last time I was at that pharmacy, that lady was kind of rude, so might as well just go to
Right.
another pharmacy down the street and try them out.
Right.
Right?
No, you
And we
totally
all
did.
know Selena can be like that, so it's all
I
right.
love it. No, that's so true what you just said, Anna. Like Lisa kind of like because okay, look, sometimes when people complain, they're so mad they can't control themselves, which we've
Yes.
all dealt with, right? They're embarrassed by that. But by Lisa like saying what she just said, which is, make that invitation. Hey, next time you come back, you almost kind of diffuse that awkwardness that person's gonna feel about how they came at you. Because sometimes it isn't you, sometimes it's them, and the way they just want to express their displeasure with your service or product or whatever
Right.
it is. But
Yeah.
I like that you said that. Like I didn't even think, I never thought about that. But like Lisa's like suggestion of just I don't know if she like, I mean, but just the realization of, the invitation to come back is there, and you're happy to have them when they come back.
Yes.
No problems.
Yeah. And their next, and who knows, right? Who knows what's going on in their life that caused this bad experience.
Right. It could be right.
Yeah. And the next time they come back, that's no longer an issue.
Right.
And now they're having the time of their life. And now instead of a 1-star or 0-star review, you're getting a 5-star review. Yeah. Because they said, I gave this business another chance. Yeah. And I loved that was like part of what this is part of that apology process, or having that, because really it's not usually our fault, right? I mean, let's be really honest. Like sometimes, yes, you can fall down on the job, or something doesn't get done the right way. Or if you're in the restaurant industry, they bring the wrong meal out, and people get angry or frustrated about that. But the reality is that if you seem to have this unique ability to diffuse that situation. The other word you used that I really liked was humility. You said you come with humility. And that's one of those words, that's usually like, well, in my world, it's tied to like religion. But the idea is that it's that sense of respect that you were talking about when you defined the word serving aloha. You respect this person as your customer, as a human being. It goes deeper than just, this jerk came in my store and yelled at me. They didn't even buy that much. It goes deeper than that, as they're just somebody there to buy something, that there's like a more intimate relationship with your clientele. And I think that's really, that's unique. I think that can make all the difference.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And it's just, just having them come back when you're knowing that, they leave the store and they know they calm down a little bit, knowing that, okay, I might have overreacted a little bit sometimes. It's not to say that we may be wrong, maybe it's not the customer, and it might be it's us, but you're hoping it's not us, but they leave the store feeling like, oh boy, did I cause a scene? I don't know if I want to go back to that store.
So I have to confess something here. I have a very fiery temper when I get frustrated with things. Okay. I know you wouldn't think that just looking at me, but I do. So when I have to call like the bank or a creditor or something like that, and I have to have conversations with them, my temper flares in about 2 seconds. Usually my husband's the one calling, because we know this about me, right? I do not remain calm under that kind of pressure. And I have to tell you, there have been more than once where I've called and said, I'm sorry, I know there's probably notes in there about being the crazy lady, super angry at you. It is embarrassing, right? It's hard for me to have to call up and be like, listen, I know that you have notes written in there about my temper, and and you're reading them right now. So I'm telling you now, I know this isn't your fault, and I'm sorry if I get angry at you. Yeah. And I'm going to try and maintain it's not you, it's the situation, but I feel like I have to explain myself.
Pre-apology. But I think though, okay, here's the difference, right? Like, so someone like you, Anna, will go in because Lisa's done that invitation to come back. Like, you shouldn't feel whatever. And like maybe a couple visits after, you guys will be joking about it because Lisa's so like, hey, remember that time, Auntie? You came in? Remember?
Yeah, I promise not to yell at you, Lisa. It's just the bank or creditors. Those are the only people I yell at.
Oh no, I in fact, I've been through that, and that's the thing in the pharmacy. So why I go back to the pharmacy is because there's had been the most situations in the pharmacy. So whenever I had to make calls for customers, it was because of their insurance.
Yeah.
And you can't get through. Yeah. And so I finally get through, and then that's not the person that I'm supposed to be talking to. You know what I mean? And then like, can I get the right department, please? So you're clinking your teeth, and you're like, and your customer's standing right in front of you because you want to help them get the coverage and say like, oh, do you have the insurance? I know you do. but can you help this customer, please? Help me, because the customer is standing right in front of me,
Right.
watching my conversation, talking to me while my mouth is like this.
The permanent smile on your face.
Permanent smile.
Oh, no.
But I will go to a level to help by asking for a supervisor.
Yeah.
And then I get it.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy to know that I get it, because I did go above the representative, but that was the only way for me to get the answer quickly, because the customer is standing right there looking at me, and she is, determined for me to get this call right, for me to verify that her insurance was good. So
yeah.
Isn't it kind of funny when you think about it, Lisa? Like you then became a customer trying to help your customer. Like, do you know what I mean? Because you have to call.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because they're not giving you the same service you're giving your customer. They're just, you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Because you're on the other end of it and you're like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm a customer too.
Yeah, right. You gotta help me. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm helping her. You help me now.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay.
So
you're moving. Yes, go ahead.
If you can believe it, we've only got a couple minutes left in our show. So okay, so we're going to start to wrap this up with one last question for you, Lisa. Give us your final thoughts on why serving Aloha is so important to you.
I think so it's so important because that's how we. It's basically, like I said, it's just like customer service. Given the aloha, you get back aloha. You give aloha, you get back aloha. If you don't give that aloha and you don't give, that aloha to someone, they're not going to reciprocate and give that aloha back to you. So everyone has to learn the word aloha.
Yeah.
If you don't give it, you will not receive it.
Yeah.
So wherever you're at, whether you're, like I said, whether you're driving, you're shopping, people nowadays are not so respectful. They're not respectful, and that you have the aloha still in you. A lot of people are saying that it looks like the aloha, had the aloha go away. No, I mean, a lot of people still have the aloha. That shaka sign is the aloha. So whether or not, wherever you're at, you're saying hi to someone, or you're helping someone, that if we all do this together and unite as one to keep that aloha going, it'll make it a better place to live.
Yes.
All the way around.
Yes. If that wasn't a good answer.
Right. It's so much bigger than your small space. It's like that ripple in the water effect. You put one drop in and out it goes.
You have to make this a happy place. It cannot be, everyone has their own life. Their lives, are busy. They do this and they do that and do this. Everyone has to wusa and, get that calmness in you, and then project that aloha.
Yeah. No, just kidding. Oh my gosh, that was a perfect answer. Seriously.
It was.
So like Lisa said, people, when you give out aloha, you are going to get it back. So, you know what I mean? And don't expect it back like right away. You shouldn't expect it. It will come back when they know you need it. Like, do you know what I mean? So I get chills just thinking about it. Okay.
So Lisa, we're going to ask you to tell us where to find us. But when we do that, first we want you to, Selena, make her big and let's show us.
Wait. Let me do that.
All right. Yeah. Show us some of your awesome jewelry, and then we're going to have people see where they can find you. All right. So now your big screen.
Now you get the big one.
Thank you.
Okay.
So how I created this jewelry was because I had a couple of times in last year to go to Japan to do some arts and craft, and also to do my dance. So I wanted to come out. Wanted to come up with creating a bracelet that wasn't so hard for people to wear. I love my bangles. Don't get me wrong. The bangles that everyone makes are beautiful with the the shells and the pearls and the hearts and everything. They're beautiful, but I wanted to make something where it's so easy and very delicate, not easier to wear. So when you hit your arm or you bang your arm, you know how we're always like this, and so you don't bruise your arms. So I found this silicone, and it's like this.
Oh, that's neat.
So so I created. So these are the different colors that I have.
Oh, pretty.
So they're like, I have probably about 12 or 13 different colors. I don't know if you can see them.
Yes.
And those are the bracelets. And the bracelets, the most popular are the Hebrew cones.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Yes,
I love that show.
The Hebrew cones are like, they're like in the Hawaiian waters or the Indonesian Pacific waters. They, you basically, I sand them down, I drill them, and then I varathane it, and then I glue the post to it. So what you do is you pull it off.
Oh, nice.
And then you clip it onto here like this, and then you clip it on to the other side.
So can you do interchangeable stones that are shells?
Yes, you can.
Oh, fun.
Oh, that's smart.
So, and this is waterproof.
Also cool.
You can go wherever you want, in the shower, work out, sweat, run. It's waterproof. Just rinse it, of course, because of all the yuck. And then you can interchange it. Say, for instance, so this is the Hebrew cone. And then this, of course, is the Tahitian pearl. And the Tahitian pearls come in different colors.
Oh,
that's pretty.
Look at this Tahitian pearl. This is called.
I love that color band. Oh, I love that color one too.
That's the Tahitian pearl.
Oh, can you say that one on the side for me? I know this is not about. I like that exact one.
This is they're called the Tiffany blue, the Tiffany color.
Gorgeous.
And then this is called the Edison freshwater pearl. It's basically a little more than the grade of a Tahitian pearl.
I'm in love with that one.
I love that one too.
And then
Alina, you already took the blue one.
So then you have the my necklaces. This is a reversible. Okay, so you can wear it like this. You just take it off like this. And you put it on.
Oh, cute.
So you basically don't put it over your head because a lot of people bought.
Oh, they try.
We're doing this. So you don't do that because you give yourself a headache. So you just take it off. No problem. When it got to their eye, they're like, it's squeezing their eye like this.
Calling Lisa, I don't know how to get it on. It's stuck on my eyes.
Here's a mother of pearl.
Yeah.
And then you wear it like this.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
And then you can switch it and turn it around. And then you can use your Hebrew at the other end. This is called the reversible.
Oh, I like that.
Wow.
So that's another style, which I have. This is the mother of pearl with the Hebrew.
Does the mother of pearl come off? Can you put a different type of angle of some sort on it?
Okay, say for instance, Selena, like this, right?
Right.
And you're like, I'm not feeling this today. I just want to change it. You clip it off. And say, like, for instance, you have another, say, for instance, you have another bracelet and you have Hebrew.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe you have that. Now you want to switch. You want to put the Hebrew on the brushed blue. Now you put the brushed blue.
Got it.
Put it on here.
Oh, that's so smart.
Okay. Now you take the Edison. So the Edison freshwater and put it on the bubble gum. This is called the bubble gum.
Got it. So one last question for you before we task people to
Sure.
see where you can find you. How safe are these for children? Are they really easy to snap on and off, or are they pretty secure?
Yes, they snap. They're secure.
Oh, awesome.
So you just unsnap it because I glue this, and then I drill it, and then I, make sure that everything, I test it before I sell it. I test everything. So I test it many times, just like the Hebrew. I test it many, many, many times before okay, just say for instance, if a Tahitian pearl does somehow come off.
Yeah.
Okay, that this post comes off. So, I mean, whether they're on Oahu, I tell them they can send it back to me. I'll glue it back, and I'll make sure that it's secure again. A lot of the times, the in and out, it might come off, but it shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it does, then at any time I can replace it. But it normally would not. It wouldn't come off because
I'm excited.
I know.
I'm excited.
Fun.
Here's the Pecten nobilis.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
That's so pretty.
Is that a sunrise shell? Is that what that one is called?
It's like Pecten nobilis is like the sunrise shell.
Okay.
It
has like those are so pretty.
Yeah, what is it called? It's like from a scallop.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh.
And different colors. So I also made like earrings with the mother of pearl, and then this is a nylon coat for people that want just the nylon instead, so that I have it like this. And here are all the colors of my necklaces.
Oh, fun.
So these are all the different colors. So so these Hebrews are popular because people like that shell looking, And then if you want to go out and you want to be more elegant, and you want to go out and nice, nice dinner. I have a friend that bought, where is this at? It's called the opihi.
Oh, and I was like, oh, another word.
I know.
It's a black, it's in the Hawaiian waters, and you eat this, so you can eat this opihi, and you know that, Selena, right?
Yeah, no, so, I'm so horrible at that.
This is the shell, and I have small, medium, and large.
Oh my gosh, that's
right.
That's so pretty.
And then you can put that. With the, with the black, like this. Oh
yeah. Oh, actually, that would look.
So my friend had bought one with the pearl instead of this, instead of Hebrew. Yeah. So she can use it either way, right?
Yeah.
And then she had gotten the pearl for the bracelet. Of course, the darker color, because it's the darker, but the black is a little more elegant.
Yeah. So you guys, yes, go and support the small business here. Yes. Yes. Okay, Lisa, tell everybody where they can find you.
Okay,
so that they can get these designs.
Okay, so I'm on the marketplace on Facebook. And so I'm there, and I'm on different groups. There's different type. There's a virtual craft 808. I'm on there.
Ooh, love it.
And I'm on virtual craft 2020.
Oh.
And that's within the States.
Yeah.
And we have all these groups that are on the islands. The Marine Corps Base Hawaii group.
Awesome.
Kailua, Lanikai, Kaneohe group, the buy and sell. And so
if we were if we were coming from Texas or Virginia or Oregon, they would find you at your Facebook page, Lisa's Creative Designs.
Yeah, well, they can go onto my page. I did create something on like Lisa's Creative Design on Facebook. It didn't quite get it went okay. It did go okay, but then I ended up changing this and going into different groups now. Smart. So now I'm really active on the marketplace. Like that virtual craft 808, I just signed up with a Virtual Craft 2020, which is around the
Yeah.
States.
Yeah.
808 is because it's the area code for our islands, for the islands
Yeah.
here. And all these other different groups that you can find. It'll say Lisa's Creative Designs on
Awesome.
there. So yeah, so you can find it that way. I don't have a
Okay.
website. I didn't put a website together on
Okay.
this. And I'm
It might come into play next year. You never know.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
if you'd like to support Lisa's jewelry because they're really cool,
Yeah.
check her out on Facebook or Instagram. And we've got the 2 tags up here, Lisa's Creative Designs on Facebook and Lisa McKeague.
On LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn. Lisa McKeague on LinkedIn. I'm sorry, not Instagram. I saw that IN and immediately went to Instagram, but it's LinkedIn, people. That's LinkedIn.
I actually didn't update my LinkedIn, but I am on LinkedIn, but I have to update it. So,
but if
Now
someone
we're good,
messages you, you'll answer them, right?
Yeah, you'll be like,
I
hey,
will.
are you the Lisa
I
that
will.
sells the jewelry? Yes. Oh my gosh. That's a great place, you guys. LinkedIn is actually a really great place to kind of connect your business with other businesses. So it's anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
I know we're over our time, but we're wrapping this up, right, Anna?
We are wrapping it up.
What is
Yes.
next
We
thing?
just want to remind everyone to go find us on Facebook, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform and subscribe. Subscribe, and we can do things like change our domain link so it doesn't say a bunch of weird numbers and letters. So subscribe. So you Yes. And next week, we have a guest, Elizabeth Randall, who is the owner of Paper Well, which is a modern boutique stationery store.
Nice.
Yes. And we're going to be talking about first impressions and product packaging, or packaging your product, because it doesn't matter if it's a physical product or if it's a virtual product. But we're going to talk about making that first impression when they receive their final product. So,
Lisa.
This has been great. This has been so much fun. It's been fun meeting you, Anna, and just talking with you, of course, Selena. You know,
you know how much I love you, Lisa.
I love you too.
Seriously.
Thank you for all your wise words and wisdom on customer service, but more than that, serving aloha. I'm going to use that term now because I get to be that honorary Hawaiian.
Right. Thank you for introducing my jewelry and getting me on this live chat. I really appreciate it.
Oh no, we love it. We love it. Okay, Lisa, we'll see you backstage for a hot minute, but thank you everybody for being here today.
Thank you very much. Aloha.
Bye.
Aloha.